Simone Schicker. Welcome to all of people's people. Today will be a joyful day, enter, rejoice, and come in.
Oh, good.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to People's Church. Whether this is your first time at People's
Laura.
Church or you come every Sunday or anywhere in between,
Marge's granddaughter,
I welcome you.
grandson. Yeah.
My name is John McClellan, and I'm from the Sunday Services Committee. People's Church is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association and part of a tradition of liberal religion. Here, our mission is to be a beloved community embracing and serving our diverse world.
Move that over and pull it.
Please join me in welcoming Rabbi Simone Schicker, who will be speaking this morning. Rabbi Simone Schicker, she/her, is the sole spiritual leader of Temple B'nai Israel. Originally from Houston, Texas, Rabbi Schicker has been serving in Kalamazoo since 2018. She is most happy when engaged in the work of building community and working towards a thriving democracy. She is currently serving as the co-president of the Women's Rabbinic Network. Rabbi Schicker is married and the proud bonus mom of 3 teenagers. When not working, she can be found reading any number of books. Welcome, and welcome to everyone.
Good morning. Oh, I can say it.
All right, so we have 3 announcements this morning. The White Elephant Sale is coming in June. Now is the perfect time to do some spring cleaning and set aside good quality items you no longer need that someone else might pay money for.
Down because it was, I don't know. Yeah.
All right, second, are you a poet and we don't know it? We're still looking for a few poets to join our poetry service in a few weeks. If you are interested, please reach out to Don Miller. More details are available in the weekly email. We are also looking for a few more people to mow the church's lawn this summer. If you are interested, please reach out to Rick Johnson. More details are available in the weekly email.
Good morning. I invite you to rise and body your spirit to sing our opening song together. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, third line, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
I'd like to call our chalice lighter up to light the chalice. If you're lighting a chalice at home, you're invited to type in the chat box, "A chalice is lit in," and then wherever you are. All right. The Struggle for Freedom by Paul Sprecher. We light this chalice in memory of the courage of those who have struggled for freedom, the persistence of those who've struggled for justice, and the love of those who built beloved communities to carry on the light of hope. And now, from the back, do we have anyone lighting a chalice at home?
We have one chalice lit in Scott's, and a chalice is lit on Munson Lake near South Haven.
I'd like to invite the children up to talk about something real quick, and then we're going to do a song. So anyone who would like to come up and sit for a minute and reminisce a little. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Willow. Hey, Leah. Hey, Ollie. Excellent. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Grace. All right. So today is a little bit colder than it has been this past week, but the fact that we've had such nice weather has me thinking about summer. You guys thinking about summer? Yes. How many weeks of school do you have left? Do you know right offhand? 4? 4, 5 maybe? It's getting closer, isn't it? It's getting way closer. And here at People's Church, we have something that we do every summer. We started doing a few years ago. And I wonder if anybody knows what happens here at People's Church for kids over the summer. Yeah, Peace and Nature Camp, Peace and Nature Camp. And our amazing director, Dolores, is back there. Can you guys wave to Dolores? Yes, thank you, Dolores. One of our amazing teachers is here too. Teresa's here too. She's been teaching with us since we started it up again. It is such a special time for all of us to be here together at People's Church, to have fun outside on our beautiful grounds. And I'm wondering if anybody has any fun things that they remember from camp. Have you been to camp, Ollie? No. What do you like about camp? Here, I got you.
Well, what I like it is I like to, cause I like to run as well on the water.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, we have water days, right? We have water days, and there's a huge thing down the back. What do we put down the back? Who remembers? Yes, the slip and slide. The slip and slide, right? Goes down the back, right? That's what it's called. What else do we remember about camp?
It was kind of like a walk.
Went for a walk? A walk in the forest? Was that at the nature center or was that here? Oh, you did bird watching. Very cool. What else do you remember? Go ahead, Leah.
I also remember at Peace and Nature Camp, we also made crafts.
Yes, there are lots of crafts. What have you done? Did you go last year? Well, here is one thing that maybe even some of the older kids in our group might remember.
What?
The Stand Up, Sit Down song. No. Does anybody remember the Stand Up, Sit Down song? We are going to get some blood flowing this morning. We at Peace and Nature Camp, we learn about peace. We learn about nature. We do crafts and we have a lot of fun. And this is one of those situations where we are going to have a lot of fun and we are going to drag all of the grown-ups along with us to have a lot of fun. Are you ready? All right, so we're going to show them how it's done. I'm going to put this one down. Are you guys ready? Yep. this might not be the song for you. But if you don't have bad knees, I encourage you to stand up and have a little fun with us. Are we ready? Yeah. You got this. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. I told you. Now stand up again and turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long, cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Woo! Very nice. All right. Let's learn a little bit about ourselves and each other. Are you ready? Yeah. Stand up if you have a sibling. Then sit back down again. Stand up if you're an only child. Ooh, then sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you have a dog at home. Stand up if you have a cat, or a hamster, or a snake, or a hissing cockroach, or a pet rock. Now everybody sit back down. This time we'll do it fast. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again and turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long, cause this is the sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Very nice. Shall we do one more verse? Stand up if you like sunshine. Then sit back down again. Stand up if you like rainy days. Then sit back down with your friends. Stand up if you're happy to be here this morning. Stand up if you dragged yourself out of bed. Now everybody sit back down. Last time we're gonna do it really, 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 really slow. Oh no, fast. People have spoken, we're gonna do it fast. Here we go. Everybody stand up. Everybody sit down. Now stand up again and turn around. You can keep standing up, but not for long, cause this is the sit down, stand up, 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 sit down, stand up. Sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down song. Good job. We're gonna sing you to your classes. Go forth in peace, in search of wisdom, with love to guide you on your way, and may the joy of life surround you wherever you may go. Go forth in peace, in search of wisdom, with love to guide you on your way, and may the joy of life surround you wherever you may go.
The words for this morning's offering come from John Saxon. This religious community exists by its mission as a fire exists by burning. But a fire cannot burn without fuel. And it is the time, the energy, the imagination, the vision, the creativity, the compassion, the love, and the financial support of the members and friends of this community that fuels our mission to nurture and sustain a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse liberal religious community that transforms lives and serves the world. Your support, the free and generous support of each and every member and friend of this community, is what fuels this community and its mission, and without your support, the flame of justice, community, and love cannot burn brightly to warm ourselves and be a beacon in a world threatened by division and fear. The offering will now be received. Please join me in giving thanks for all that sustains us. From the countless gifts we each have been given, gifts of life and love and sustenance, we bring these small portions to share in the works of love which none of us can accomplish alone. Each Sunday, we take a moment to share with one another the joys and sorrows, concerns, and milestones in our lives. If you're here in person, I invite you to come forward, place a stone in the bowl of water, and speak briefly. For those on Zoom who would like to share, please type your message into the chat box, and your message will be read aloud. If you would prefer not to share the details, you may simply drop a pebble into the bowl of water, or type the word stone if you're on Zoom, and we will keep you in our thoughts. We'll pause the recording so that you have some measure of privacy. I will now put in a few more stones for the joys and sorrows that go unspoken, those in our community and those in the world around us. Our spoken meditation is The Pulse of Life by Jennifer Johnson. These are anxious days, hair-pulling, hand-wringing days. We are bombarded from all sides with new and unprecedented developments, grave threats to our national values and institutions on one hand, and countless calls to action on the other, and then the flood of critique and analysis. Whose strategy is winning? How do we outmaneuver the other side? These are indeed uncertain times. And yet, there are some things we do know for certain. We know that our blue boat home continues to rotate on its axis, continues its familiar sojourn around the sun. The sun sets and rises, and if we remember to pause, we may lose ourselves, but for a moment, in the glorious play of light and color on the horizon. The flowers have stirred from their winter hibernation. The energy of life and living is pulsing in them and in the blades of grass and the maple buds, and it's pulsing in us too. The pulse of life calls us to nourish our bodies with good food and movement, to nourish our spirits with art and song, friendship and tenderness, and quiet. When we heed the pulse of life, we know what we need to do. To rise in the morning and rest into darkness, to put our hands, hearts, and minds to work, to meet those in our midst with compassion, to join with the vulnerable and speak truth to power, to play with our youngest and hear the wisdom of our elders, to heal the sick and wounded, to grieve the dying and remember the dead, to be of use, and sometimes to be still. The pulse of life is beating in each and every one of us. Amidst the clamor of these times, let us heed its sure and steady rhythm.
Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul.
The hope of my grandmother. My grandmother lived in a time when the back alley was the only place to go for help when she needed it most. She survived these ordeals more than once and later went on to give birth to my mother. Mom's middle name, Joy, was chosen to celebrate the miracle of her birth after the pain and suffering endured between two children, life-threatening abortions, and a world war. Joy was the hope for a better future. As kids, we marched for reproductive freedom with our mother, and Roe v. Wade became the law of the land. We lived with that law most of our adult lives. My sister's abortions were carried out in a different world from Grandma's nightmare. They took place in a clinic with trained medical professionals, sterilized tools, and anesthesia. We never imagined that ending a pregnancy in 2024 might include the same nightmares experienced several decades ago. We must never give up Grandma's hope for a better future. A future when healthcare is between a doctor and a patient, and the government is not involved. And when a person carrying a baby can make the best decision possible for themselves, the unborn baby, and their future. We will not rest until Grandma's hope once again becomes reality. Behold the prophet. On social media, news, the internet, unceasing messages from God's prophet. Green the lands of the world, report just the facts, allow authentic Black narrative, protect the LGBTQ community, facilitate all accurate history, monitor the use of guns, include minorities for affirmative scrutiny, respect every religion, protect all children, feed those who hunger, clothe those in tatters, house every human with dignity, revere the right to medical choice, honor the elderly, encourage freedom to read and learn, halt political conflicts, local and global, share wealth and opportunities, tell the truth. The possibility of renewed illumination radiates globally.
When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. And we return to breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out.
On my car, I have a bumper sticker that says, "Abortion bans are against my religion." It has been on both my car and my husband's car for a few years now. I find it most interesting that I rarely get asked about it, but he regularly has people approach him. My husband is not a particularly verbose individual, but he has tried to take it in stride, explaining that Judaism requires abortions in certain circumstances, and therefore abortion must be legal and easily available. Pretty straightforward, but definitely it causes trouble in certain situations. This argument that freedom of religion requires access to abortion care won last month in an Indiana court, as this ACLU statement explains. Today, the Marion County Superior Court granted a permanent injunction preventing Indiana from enforcing Senate Enrolled Act 1, the state's near total abortion ban, against the plaintiffs and certified class when doing so would conflict with their sincerely held religious beliefs. The court agreed that Indiana's abortion law imposes a substantial burden on religious exercise protected by the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. More than 3 years after the case was filed, the court's order makes permanent the protection that had remained in place while the litigation moved through the courts. Because the court certified the case as a class action, today's ruling reaches beyond the named plaintiffs and protects all Hoosiers whose religious beliefs direct them to obtain abortions that would otherwise be prohibited by the ban. The ACLU of Indiana had originally filed the lawsuit on behalf of a group called Hoosier Jews for Choice and 5 women more than 3 years ago, whose sincerely held religious beliefs conflicted with the ban. They filed the lawsuit explaining that not all people of faith understand things in the same way, that there are differences of opinion around ideas, like when life starts. This morning, I want to share with you both biblical and rabbinic texts that have led to the teaching that Judaism requires legal, accessible abortion care. Just a note first. As I will be citing from some ancient texts, there is gendered language. Some of it might be a little blunter than we're used to hearing. And note that in general, I believe pregnant person is the most inclusive language when speaking of reproduction. I also believe strongly in the teachings of reproductive justice, which was originally named and championed starting in 1994 by women of color. Sister Song defines reproductive justice as the human right to maintain personal body autonomy, have children, not have children, and parent the children we have in safe and sustainable communities. So we start in the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verses 22 through 25. When men fight and one of them pushes a pregnant woman and a miscarriage results, but no other damage ensues, the one responsible shall be fined according as the woman's husband may exact from him, the payment to be based on reckoning. But if other damage ensues, the penalty shall be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. When men fight and a woman is caused to miscarry, the penalty, according to the law in the book of Exodus, is financial. This is in contrast to the verse that follows that states if the woman is killed, the penalty should be death for the perpetrator. Miscarriage is not murder. We then can turn to the Talmud, codified around 650 CE, and the exposition of the sages after the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE. As we read, in cases of capital law, the dispute concerning such a prohibition is with regard to the issue that is the subject of the dispute. Between Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi and the rabbis, as it is taught in a Baraita, that Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi says, with regard to that which is written, if men struggle and they hurt a pregnant woman, And if there shall be a tragedy, you shall give a life for a life. The reference is to a monetary payment for the life that he took. The tragedy referenced is the unintentional killing of the mother. Rabbi Danya Ruttenberg, when she was the rabbi in residence at the National Council of Jewish Women, wrote the following commentary further explaining this Talmudic passage. A major factor in some Christian views on abortion were developed through a mistranslation of this passage. In the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, known as the Septuagint, completed in 132 BCE, they translated ason, damage or tragedy, in these Exodus verses to, excuse my Greek, exilkonis menon, from the image, making the verse seem to be about whether or not the fetus is perfectly formed, rather than whether or not the pregnant person dies. That is, the question of whether one pays mere damages or incurs the death penalty would then depend on whether the fetus is formed or sufficiently developed in terms of gestational stages to warrant a harsher punishment. Notably, the Septuagint translated the word asan in a different, more accurate way as malakia, as an affliction, back in the book of Genesis. The mistranslation of the Hebrew has caused trouble for the Jewish people throughout the centuries, and not just in the debate about abortion, but as our subject is abortion. And understanding how the teachings around it evolved over time, I offer you this other text, also from the Talmud. If she is found pregnant, until the 40th day it is mere fluid. Therefore, according to the Talmud, which is the basis of much of Jewish law, the fetus has no status for the first 40 days. With the difference between Jewish law, which starts counting at conception, and modern medical practice of starting to count from the last menstrual period, the end of these 40 days would be between 7 or 8 weeks of pregnancy. Judaism does not believe that life begins at conception. Rather, after these first 40 days, the fetus is considered a physical part of the pregnant individual's body, not yet having life of its own or independent rights. The fetus is not viewed as separate from the parent's body until birth begins and the first breath of oxygen into the lungs allows the soul to enter the body. But how do we understand the deliberate ending of pregnancies? For the text from Exodus, which the Talmud in these passages builds upon, are speaking of an accident, not a deliberate act. The text that predates the Talmud and is the basis of the Talmud's further discussion is the Mishnah. Now, it is codified around the year 200 CE, almost 2,000 years ago at this point. Just a warning, it's a little graphic what I'm about to say. We read, if a woman is having trouble giving birth, they cut up the child in her womb and brings it forth limb by limb, because her life comes before the life of the child. But if the greater part has come out, one may not touch it, for one may not set aside one person's life for that of another. This is harsh language, but it's important. If the life of the woman is in danger, her life takes precedence up until the fetus has taken its first breath. The idea of a pursuer, someone coming after you, is used in this particular discussion. The fetus, if it is the cause of the pregnant person's distress, is like a perpetrator, is like a pursuer. And therefore, the law tells us it must be stopped. Rabbi Shlomo Yitzchaki, better known as Rashi, an important 11th century French commentator, expounds upon this teaching. He states that until the fetus has taken a breath, it does not have a soul, but once it takes a breath, we do not push off one soul for the sake of another. Meaning, when both mother and child are breathing on their own, we must try and save both lives. Maimonides, another great sage, who lived in Egypt in the late 1100s when he wrote his great work, his great compilation of Jewish law, the Mishnah Torah, comments, "This indeed is one of the negative mitzvot, one of the negative commandments. Not to take pity on the life of a rodef, of a pursuer, of one who seeks to kill you." Right? Self-defense, then, is regarded as a commandment in this interpretation. On this basis, our sages ruled that when complications arise and a pregnant woman cannot give birth, it is permitted to abort the fetus in her womb, whether with a knife or with drugs. For the fetus is considered a rodef, a pursuer of its mother. If the head of the fetus emerges, it should not be touched, because one life should not be sacrificed for another. Although the mother may die, this is the nature of the world. We note here the use of both a knife and drugs. Medication abortion was therefore permitted in Judaism as early as the 12th century. We also note here that it is not just permitted to abort, but required, because the life of the mother is in danger. It is possible that now you're asking yourself, but what about more modern interpretations? Have times not changed? And you are correct. If we jump from the 12th century to the 18th century, we see a ruling by Rabbi Jacob Emden, an important scholar in Germany, in which he rules that abortion must be permitted in cases of the suffering of the mother, whether physical, mental, or because society would make her life hard. Physical, mental, or because society would make her life hard. The logic being, if abortion is permitted, then it should be permitted for all reasons. We can then find examples of rulings from the 20th century from leading Orthodox rabbis, I am not Orthodox, that argue for access to abortion for even what some people might consider a slim reason. I believe it is important to note, on behalf of my colleagues making these rulings, that they are not calling for abortion on demand, but rather note the importance of legal, safe access to abortion care. Because in the Orthodox Jewish view, the person who needs an abortion must be able to access one. This is in contrast to some of my more liberal or progressive colleagues, with whom I personally agree, which is that it is not the decision of religious leaders what an individual can or should do with their body. Rather, as a religious leader, it is my job to walk alongside them as they draw on all the resources they have in order to make a decision that acknowledges the facts of their individual situation. It is for all of these reasons, which is a small sampling of the text of my tradition, that Jewish Americans have been on the forefront for a long time now of working towards legal, accessible abortion care. And a note that alongside those fighting for reproductive justice in our BIPOC communities, that abortion care is one aspect of reproductive health care, and that we should be fighting for people's rights in all aspects, in all ways, in regards to their health and well-being. When speaking on this subject, I am always reminded of the many stories I know of pregnant people who desperately want the fetus in their womb, and for any number of reasons, including medical trouble, choose abortion as the most compassionate choice. I do want to acknowledge, if you're struggling with fertility in any way, that there are many resources available to help you. And though it is a specifically Jewish organization, I've become a campaigner for the resource. The organization's name is I Was Supposed to Have a Baby. And you can find them on their website or on Instagram, where everybody is. May each of you go from strength to strength, and may we see the day when every person is seen in the fullness of themselves, able to make the choices that are best for them.
Thank you. I invite you to rise and body your spirit, to sing our closing song together. If harmony is trying to get out of you, let it come out. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. More peace. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere, and more joy. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
God, you have called us into life and set us in the midst of purposes we cannot measure or understand. Yet we thank you for the good we know, for the life we have, and for the gifts that are our daily portion. For health and healing, for labor and repose, for the ever-renewed beauty of the earth and sky, for thoughts of truth and justice which stir us from our ease and move us to acts of goodness, and for the contemplation of your eternal presence, which fills us with hope that what is good and lovely cannot perish. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom. May God bestow favor on you and grant you peace. Kain Yehirat Son, may this be God's will. Go forth in peace.